This week is all about geography. We go from Colombia to Italy to Scotland to Harlem back to Washington. I am your host, Jacques Slade, and this is the weekly sneaker review.
My kick's on fire.
ASICS, which stands for A Sound Mind in a Sound Body, hits us with another high-profile collaboration, this time with Hannon Shop in Scotland. The Gel Light 3 is inspired by the Aberdeen-based running club, the Wildcats, and, well, an actual Wildcat. The shoe features a very deep mustard and burgundy colorway and will be available starting October 28th at Hannon Shop. For those that are interested in actually copying a pair, check the information down in the link below because the shoe will actually be available at more shops than just Hannon, but it is only a Euro release. With that said, let's move on to number 4. I have a confession to make. I may be one of the only rappers who has never seen the movie Scarface. However, wait, before you start judging, I do see the influences of the Scarface poster on the newest colorway of the Nike LeBron 9. Seen here in black, red, and white, the model definitely takes some design, or should I say colorway cues, from the Scarface poster. Now these will be available starting November 4th for $170. You cockroaches! That was bad, wasn't it? I am supposed to keep my thoughts to a minimum when it comes to sneakers on the weekly review. However, I refuse to act like I am not in love with this pair of Superstar 80s. Inspired by the iconic rap group Run DMC, Adidas has put together a sneaker that has more meaning than the sum of its parts. Now, for those of you that know the connection between Run DMC and Adidas, you know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this is a very special pair of sneakers. Now, they'll be available starting November 11th, 2011 at very, very select Adidas retailers. When I say very, very, I mean very, very, because only 1,986 pairs of the shoes will be made. There'll also be some apparel that'll go along with them, but these shoes are crazy. I'm absolutely in love with them, and I think I will definitely get myself a pair. So that is the Run DMC times Adidas Originals Superstar 80s 25th anniversary kicks. Let's move on to number 2. If you have a little money in your pocket and charity in your heart, then the Air Jordan 4 Superman for Doernbecher Hospital is set to release on November 5th. Now, the model was designed by Isaiah Scott, which you can tell from the Afro icon on the medial heel, and it was released alongside several other pair of Nike-related sneakers that were designed by children at the hospital. The retail prices for the shoes is going to range from $65 to about $175, but again, all sales from the shoes will go towards programs at the Doernbecher Hospital. So if you are in a charitable mood and want to get some sneakers designed by a child that gave it his all, definitely cop the Doernbecher sneakers coming up on November 5th. Coming in at number 1 is something that should coat your ears with sweet, sweet emotion. It is news coming down the pipeline that the Air Jordan 11 Columbia will be releasing for holiday 2012. Yes, it'll be a year away before we get to see the Air Jordan 11 Columbia. However, but if you think about it, it was this year, like right around this time last year, that we found out about the Air Jordan 11 Concord, which drops in a couple months from now. So, don't fret. You only have 14 months to go before you get to see the Air Jordan 11 Columbia. Let's move on to my personal pick. My personal picks for this week they're a little all over the map. First one up is the Adidas Etrusco. I'm not sure if that's how you say it. I believe it's the Etrusco. And these were actually indoor soccer sneakers, but you can definitely see how you can rock these just out on the street and they would look really dope. They're seen here in green, but I'm definitely hoping Adidas makes these in a few other colors. The next one up is the Nike Zoom KD4 Nerf. He wore these in the charity game in Oklahoma City, and they just definitely took me back to the days when I had the Nerf hoop on the back of my door, so I'm definitely checking for these. And my final personal pick is the Adidas Crazy 8. Yes, they came out already this year, but they just released them in new colorways, which is royal, aluminum, and red, and it's just really hard to deny how dope the Adidas Crazy 8 is. So those are my personal picks: the Adidas Etrusco, the Nike Zoom KD4 Nerf, and the Adidas Crazy 8. So let's move on to the question of the video. Last week on the question of the video, I asked you guys, what shoe did you want to see retroed that was not a Nike or a Jordan shoe? And I just want to say that I love you guys. You guys brought back some memories for me. There were a lot of sneakers that you guys mentioned that I'll be honest, that I forgot about. But now that you guys mentioned them, I'm definitely going to be checking for those. Maybe I'm emailing just info@thecompany.com just trying to say, hey, why don't you bring these back? But let's go with yours. Enough about me. Let's go with yours. Here are two from the website. The first one is from Dylon EB11, and Dylon says, gotta go with the Reebok Shaqnosis. The Reebok Shaqnosis was actually mentioned a lot by you guys. I had literally forgotten about the Shaqnosis, and you guys definitely are repping for the Reebok Shaqnosis. And the second one from the website is from Noel Rodriguez Casquillo, and he says, I would love for Adidas to bring back the Jabber signature shoe. My brother had an all-white pair with Kareem's picture in gold on the tongue. I love these shoes. Now, a lot of you guys are younger and probably have never, ever seen the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Adidas, but they were definitely dope. I never had a pair. They were out before I was born, but they're definitely dope. I looked them up. As you can see right here, they look really, really fresh. Now, the next one is from YouTube, and this one is from Shutdown King 84. Shut him down. Probably doesn't say that when he says his name, but that would be really cool if he goes, shut down King, shut him down. Or maybe not. But anyway, he says he wants to see the Fila Grant Hills. Now, I definitely remember the Fila Grant Hills, the very first model where it had like the outline on the side of the shoe. Definitely be something to rock. Definitely has a lot of nostalgia connected to that one. And finally, this one is from Phoenix Suns 1968, or actually say PHX Suns 1968. And he goes with a personal favorite of mine. I never owned a pair, which really hurt my heart. But a personal favorite is the Reebok Questions. There is no doubt one of the hottest shoes that Reebok ever made, the Reebok Questions. So these are the shoes. Again, the Shaqnosis, the Jabbar signature shoe, the Fila Grant Hills, and the Reebok Questions. So brands, if you're out there, I hope you're listening, because these are the shoes that the people want you to bring back. So bring those back. So for this week's question of the video, the question comes from Everything DT. Okay, I'm sorry, I don't know how to say this. It's Everything DETODO. So maybe Everything Dito Do. If maybe your name is Dito. Everything that Dito Do. And Dito Do wants to know, what is the most underrated sneaker? It doesn't matter what brand it is. Let me know in the comments, what is the most underrated sneaker? Well, I am your host, Jacques Slade. This is the weekly sneaker review, and that is all we have for this week. If you haven't had the time to check out last week's video, then bam, I'll put it right there for you. So make sure you check it out. Make sure you check the description, the video description, because that's where I put more information about the sneakers. You can click there, see more pictures and more stuff about the shoes if you haven't seen it already. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Twitter and Facebook is your thing. That information is down in the description. I don't know why I'm talking so fast. Then the information is down in the description. Again, I am your host, Jacques Slade. This is the weekly sneaker review, and I will see you next week. Peace. But again, that's just me guessing based on last year. Let's move on to number 2. Jordan Brand is showing the shorties some love as new images of the Air Jordan 4 Cement and GS sizes have been popping up around the net. The model features an